Unbelievable face tumor people. Hello everyone, I'm Kisha and wish you all a new day full of energy. People today would never choose to live like that, finding it painful to imagine how perfect we are. Stop blaming anything in life if you feel you are fine. Let's meet them through this video. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 5. Beatrice Makoka. Beatrice Makoka, born in 1971 in Bungoma County, Republic of Kenya, has lived with abnormal facial growth for more than 2 decades. The swelling became so large that it had covered most of her right nose, making it difficult for her to breathe. In January 2000, at the age of 31, Makoka felt a dull ache in the right half of her head, and it was initially just a headache. The fleeting mild pain turned into a hideous malignancy and robbed her of her beauty. At that time, she was young, dynamic, and full of hope. She dreams of a prosperous future. When the swelling was still there, she decided to go to the hospital for a checkup, and the doctors only prescribed some pain relievers. Despite the pain medication, her eyes continued to swell, and the headache became unbearable. Despite her grief, Beatrice said she has not given up on finding a medical solution to her condition. She is the only one in the family who can earn money. After her story was shared in many media, charities and many people helped her. An on-site, multidisciplinary team, led by a maxillofacial surgeon, removed her giant cyst on April 12, 2021. The growth carving the right side of Makoka's face contained 3 liters of dermoid fluid, which is not related to the brain. Number 4. Omar. Omar has a sagging, swollen, and ugly face. Sadly, entire families are being affected by this disease. A kind woman agreed to marry him. They had a child together and thought it would be a normal child. Unfortunately, his son also had the same disease as his father. Omar said when he was born, he did not have this disease. Everything changed a few years later. This disease started when he was young, when Omar was 2 to 3 years old. He started having headaches. A piece of excess flesh grew on his head, but at that time, they considered it normal, not a big concern. But the tiny muscle gradually grew and started getting bigger every day. As he got older, it got worse, and now he can't do anything. No one in his family has ever been affected by the disease, and he was the first victim. People took him to the hospital for a checkup, but all the doctors could do was give him painkillers, and surgery was needed. Growing up, Omar went to the hospital for surgery, but then his face flattened, stretched like water inside. The deformity prevented him from going to school because all the children would bully him, and even his kids can't because the kids are always teasing. May God bless this poor family. Number 3. Seroton. Seroton, born in 1968 from East Jakarta, Indonesia, has a shrink appearance that looks scary. Half of her face was obscured by a large tumor, and hundreds of small tumors covered her body. If we look closely, we can see that it looks like water bubbles, just waiting to burst. Despite their appearance, the tumors are not cancerous or contagious, but Seroton was so desperate that she was forced to leave her village to beg for a living. All she hopes for is a full recovery, so she can be as pretty as most women. However, Seroton said she could not afford medical treatment in her hometown of Bandung, West Java, Indonesia. Previously, the local government advised her in surgery to remove a large tumor on her back, but then the condition returned. The tumors continued to grow stronger all over her body. This is also the reason that people fear and avoid her. The villager thought that she was possessed by a demon, so there was no doctor to cure her. According to experts, when Seroton was 3 years old, she suffered from a rare disease called neurofibromatosis, an inherited dominant syndrome. Manifestations of the disease are changes in the nervous system, bones, and skin. It creates dermal tumors of many sizes from the tip of the pin to very large, forming a dangling mass that deforms the shape. Many soft cysts have a button-like appearance. Number 2. Huang Chunkai. Huang Chunkai, born in 1977, is a Chinese man who has become known as the Elephant Man of China. He was suffering from an extreme case of neurofibromatosis, which caused tumors to grow so large on his face that they had completely disfigured his contours. Huang's parents first noticed signs of his disease when he was 4 years old. He was taken to the hospital and diagnosed with neurofibromatosis. However, doctors advised against removing the tumor, an operation that Huang's parents were too poor to pay anyway, because they believed it was too dangerous. Huang's tumor continued to grow, and although he started school at the age of 8, he ended up dropping out 4 years later, feeling shunned by other children who called him Elephant Man. A circus went to his father to buy his son for a monster show, but his parents refused. Around 2007, he caught the attention of doctors at the Fuda Cancer Hospital in Guangzhou, who decided to try removing the tumor. His first surgery in July 2007 removed a 33-pound tumor on the right side of his face, and his second surgery in January 2008 removed another 10-pound mass of tissue on the same side. Number 1. Hyun-hee. Hyun-hee was born in 1984 in Korea. She appeared in a series of articles as well as Korean news reports because of her extremely strange appearance, her second face due to a strange disease that made anyone curious. Like Seroton and Huang Chunkai, Hyun-hee suffered from neurofibromatosis. Shin Too-Hyun suffered from a strange disease that severely affected her eyesight. By 13, Hyun-hee's eyes were completely blind, and by the age of 18, her face began to sag and large tumors appeared. Hyun-hee's condition was extremely serious. She could barely speak and could only type to communicate with others. Eating and living with her at that time was a torture. Because she couldn't eat like a normal person, Hyun-hee's body was getting thinner and thinner, weighing only 66 pounds. Despite such difficulties, she did not give up hope. Her brave attitude touched many people. However, in September 2018, Hyun-hee passed away from a traumatic brain injury during the recent rehabilitation surgery, along with the problem of excessive blood loss for a long time. For me, they are kind people who give their luck to humanity and take their bad luck. Hopefully, we won't have any more people to suffer like this. We have many other strange people in the following videos. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to watch more interesting videos. And now, goodbye and see you again.